Yes, a question here.
Getting back to the language part, do either of you speak the language like naturally?
Cree? No.
And I'd like to ask Ian if you do, like you wrote in that
Yeah,
language.
but
Do you speak it too?
I had to adapt some of it because my Cree is better, but my Ojibwe is okay, but it's not what it should be, because I kind of experienced what a lot of Mennonite people in my generation experienced, where the generation above would use the language as kind of a secret language. So you'd be sitting at a dinner table, and then all of a sudden they would start talking in Soto, and you'd hear Tracey would hear her name being mentioned, and so she knew they were talking about her, but she wouldn't know what was being said. So it's more getting it back that way. I probably know more French than some of them. Yeah, but they did great work. And what's interesting to me is the accent they're using is the woman that helped coach them, Brenda Watt. So I hear it. Yeah, but it's, for me, I kept telling them it's okay that it doesn't sound perfect, because these beings are trying to remember. It's like they're putting on a piece of clothing that's kind of not quite, they're not quite used to it, and the language is the same. But I also wanted it to be, I'll tell you a little story, okay? So when Farewell was first produced, the night before, or a few hours before preview, I was standing right there with the artistic director, and the artistic director came down and he said, "You need to cut that speech in Ojibwe. It's too long." And I said, "No," because I knew why it was there. And he kind of looked at me, I still remember it, and he went, he stormed off, right? And then we previewed the show, and then he came up to me, and he started hugging me and kissing my cheeks, and he said, "Oh my God, it was brilliant. You were right." You know, and I'm not cocky as an artist, but a part of me was, you know, like, well, I wrote it. Do you think I'm stupid? Like, you didn't trust me, right? But why it was there was because what happened on that night was there were some Ojibwe people in the audience. I'm pointing to my cousin. And so what happened was those people at that part of the play, they leaned forward and they were listening. And all the people who didn't speak the language were leaning back. And they were looking at the people that spoke Ojibwe, and they were doing this, right? And I said to the artistic director, this was much later, I said, that's probably the first time those people who didn't speak the language knew what it felt like to be Indigenous in this country. Because they felt excluded. They didn't know what was going on. They kind of had an idea, but they were confused, and they didn't like that they weren't part of what was being shared.
Yeah.
Right?
They're uncomfortable.
Exactly. And theater is, and I want to express my gratitude for all of you for coming and supporting theater, supporting PTE, because one of my mentors who passed away last year, she told me, well, she gave it indirectly, but she told me, she said, "I want you to write a Canadian play that is theatrical." And so that's what this became, because if you take this piece and try to make it into a movie or a TV show, it won't work. It'll only work in a theater, right?
Right.